Chapter 1. Garth ran into the comic book store and shook off the rain. The few customers looked at him with wide eyes, as if they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Garth wasn't in the mood, so he went straight to the counter. "Is the new issue of Heroes Madness in?" he asked the cashier. "You're the one who called?" "Sure is, bud." The cashier was a striking young man who looked to be in his early 20s, around the same age as Garth. He had to be nearly 7 feet tall. He towered over Garth and appeared to work out a lot, his veiny biceps straining through his short-sleeved shirt. His chest and shoulders were also massive. The cashier disappeared behind the counter and came back up a few seconds later with a comic book in hand. The cover had a scrawny blonde boy in an orange and yellow superhero costume, walking down an alley by himself. "This is your favorite series, huh?" the cashier asked. "Yeah, I've loved it for years. I feel like I'm the only one." "Why do you feel that way?" "Well, how many people buy it?" After a moment's thought, the giant said, "You're the only one." "Exactly." He took the comic book and caressed the cover through the protective sheet. "You seem like someone who gets attached to things easily," the cashier said. Garth looked up quickly. "Is it that obvious?" "I'm Panzer," the cashier said, reaching a hand out. Garth shook it and introduced himself. His hand disappeared inside Panzer's, and he knew the large guy was taking care not to crush it. "I think obsession runs in my blood," Garth said. "Really? How so?" "My mom loved a TV show, and, well, she didn't take the finale well." He suddenly stopped talking and went back to the comic book. He reached for his wallet, but Panzer stopped him. "No charge, bud." "What? Are you serious?" "Sure, I'll take care of it." Garth wiped at his eyes, which had suddenly become watery. He couldn't believe he was crying in a comic book store. "I know it's none of my business," Panzer said quietly. "But if you need someone to talk to—" "My dad tore up all my comic books," Garth suddenly confessed. "It's been years since my mom died, and things have been shit between Dad and me. He hated my comic books. I think he hates me. I know he hated my mom." "Why don't you just move out?" Garth laughed. "Yeah, right. My dad may hate me, but he won't let me go. I'm the only family he has. He feels like Mom abandoned him." "Abandoned how?" Panzer asked. "She killed herself. God, I can't believe I'm telling you this. You must think I'm a crazy shit." "Not at all. I'm a good listener. If you don't mind me asking, why did she killed herself because of the series finale, believe it or not." "Your dad thinks he's a failure," Panzer said. "What?" "I hear that people close to suicides blame themselves. He probably felt she was rubbing his failure in his face. Some men just can't handle that." "I guess." Garth held up the comic book. "Thanks again. I really appreciate this." He turned to leave, feeling a little better. The great comic book massacre had happened a week ago. This was his first comic book since, and he would protect it with his life. "Hey," Panzer said behind him. "What are you doing later tonight?"